All right, welcome to the Zoom tonight. I always love doing these. They're so much fun. We're going to be talking about our Opal Fund tonight. Our Opal Fund is great for business owners, non-business owners alike, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we do have to get to the disclaimer. This information presented is just that information. This is not investing advice, but rather a public teaching on what Scepter offers, who it offers it to, and how to seek more information if interested. It's important to note that what we're going to be talking about tonight is available to accredited investors. We can go over what accredited is a little bit later. Well, actually, I can do it right now. An accredited investor is a single person who makes 200 grand a year, a married couple that makes 300 grand a year, and they've been doing it for 2 years, or somebody with a net worth outside of their primary residence of $1 million. So that is. So that covers the disclaimer, and just let more people in. Careful. All right, a little bit about the background here, just to set some context. Scepter is built on a 30-year track record of experience in finance and commerce. We close tens of millions in M&A transactions annually. We've secured over 50 million through insurance for our clients in 2025. And the founder, which happens to be me tonight, has been doing this successfully, this strategy that we're going to be talking about, since 2024. And before we get into the offering itself, we do have some pillars that I think are really important because, at least when it comes to me, I like to know a little bit about the people that I'm getting into business with. So, the first pillar that we really kind of lean on is access is a moral question. I don't know how many of you know this, but it's not a conspiracy theory. The system really is rigged against you. It really is rigged against you. Real wealth creation, wealth management, for example, is not available to you until you typically have about 35 million in investable cash. Estate planning and legacy planning is typically around 50 million in investable cash. And then even investment vehicles, there are investment vehicles that I cannot tell you about even on tonight's call until you verify that you have at least $2 million of investable cash. So the system really is rigged. And I don't think that that's right. I think access to wealth creation and protection is a moral issue, and I think everybody should have access to it. So we work really hard to make that happen while obviously staying within the boundaries of the laws and regulations. Second principle before we get started. Modern finance extracts, it doesn't steward. This is a huge pet peeve of mine. A lot of what people are exposed to is what's called the retail financial services industry. And just like if you were to pay retail for a car, would you brag about that? I wouldn't either, because you are the source of the income for the industry. So it's actually set up to extract wealth, not to steward it and create it. The third principle. Truth in finance is ancient, not innovative. I get it. We live in a social media, digital world. AI is breathing down our necks every day. But the principles of finance are like the laws of gravity. They just are. So I'm opposed to all this, oh, we got a new this or a creative that or a disruptive this. When it comes to finance, it's principles. They're ancient, never innovative. The fourth principle, wealth is a duty before it's a privilege. To me, this one's big because if we don't adhere to this, then society collapses. And the fifth one, houses endure, firms fade. This one's more for our team, but it's important to us because a lot of these firms, matter of fact, they even teach it in business school, go for a liquidity event, right? A lot of firms are built to get to a liquidity event to make the owners rich, and then whatever happens, happens. Forget everybody else, investors, clients, all that sort of stuff. And what we're building is a house of finance and commerce that we hope is with us for a very, very long time. So, yeah. All right. So, with that being said, let me get to this room. Boom. And mute all for a while. Yep, mute everybody. All right. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about Scepter Opal Fund. It is a fixed income solution. And we have four topics: what we are offering, how we can offer it, who this is good for, and then questions and steps afterwards. So what are we offering? We are offering a contractually locked in 13.22% annual return, cash payments monthly starting the very first month following the investment. And it is a wonderful alternative or addition to retail investing, business ownership, and employment incomes. So that's the topic. Let me just mute everybody quick. There we go. How can we offer it? Sometimes people who get engaged with retail investing as investors or financial advisors question the ability to offer a 13.22% return. What they fail to understand is in the financial markets, there's a business side and a retail side. The retail side is literally called the retail side for a reason, because the truth in business is someone is always making the money. It's just the way it is. I tell people all the time that the average financial advisory firm, right? So your financial guy, wherever you park your 401k, Charles Schwab, Edward Jones, JP Morgan, pick your flavor. On average, those companies make a 39.2% after expenses return. Now, these are the same people who are telling people that a 5 to 7% return is good. Just think about that for a second. They're making 39.2. They tell you that 5 to 7 is good, 9 is exceptional. But what that means in a very real way is you would be better off investing in your financial advisor than you would be investing through your financial advisor. So how do we make money then? We are on the business side of finance. We're on the opposite side of the equation. And that's really important to understand, because when you do, 13.22 just makes sense. So what does that mean? We're on the business side. Well, we underwrite market volatility. What does underwriting market volatility mean? I really want you guys to grasp the concept. I am so in favor of make sure people understand what they're doing, what they're investing in. So what is underwriting market volatility? Underwriting market volatility is what happens when investors are afraid and want to insure their investment bets. Scepter's business is to provide that insurance. And I'm using air quotes and quotes on the screen because technically it's not insurance. That requires a different license, which ironically we also do have. But it operates in the same exact sort of manner. And that's how we underwrite the market volatility. So let's get to a real life example. Let's say this is Sally. Sally has Acme stock and she bought 100 shares at $100. And she's scared that it might drop due to bad news, the Iranian war, presidential tweet at 1 a.m., whatever it happens to be. She's afraid it might drop. So she says to Scepter, I will pay you 50 cents per share. Now, that's an example, and premium prices vary. This is just demonstration purposes only. But I'll pay you 50 cents per share to insure her bet. So if Acme drops to $90, Scepter will buy her shares. Well, if the stock stays at $90.01 or higher, Scepter keeps the premium she paid as our company's profits. This is where you really start to see the distinction between your retail investor services, Edward Jones and those sort of things, and what we're doing. So we keep those premiums as our profits, and the contract expires what's called worthless. Yeah, but Josh, what if the stock goes low? Okay. If the stock stays at 90 or lower, Scepter still keeps the premium that she paid as our profits. Notice either way what happens. We profit. We then also buy those 100 shares from her at $90. Well, yeah, is that bad? Absolutely not. That's called buying inventory at a discount. Example number 2. Let's say we bought 100 shares at $100. Now we have that inventory. That serves as our product inventory. Now here's Bob. Bob then says, Scepter, I will pay you 50 cents a share to insure that I have the right to buy it from you at a predetermined price of 110 per share. Now, why would he do that? Let's say he realized that Acme is about to release a brand new car or a brand new AI, or it has an earnings call coming up next month, and he doesn't want to miss out on the opportunity to win. So he pays us a premium to ensure that he has the right to buy the shares at 110. If the stock stays at 110.50, because 50 cents would be what he paid us, so if it stays at 110.50 or lower, Scepter keeps the premium he paid as our profit. And we also keep the inventory of those shares to do the exact same thing next week. We focus on weekly and monthly contracts. Yeah, but Josh, what if it goes up? Okay, great. If the stock stays at 110.51 or higher, Scepter keeps the premium that he paid to us again as our profit, and then Bob here buys the stock from us at 110. So you notice there's four ways this can go for us, and out of all four of them, we either have cash or inventory at all times. So this isn't one of those, well, what are you investing in, and how much did it go up, and how does? Nope, nope. You're thinking like a retail investor. Either way this goes, we either have inventory or we have cash. So this volatility, where does the volatility live? And this is really important too. Hold on one second. Let me just Okay. We will get to this in a second. Oops, I gotta go back. How do I go back? Where does market volatility live? Well, it often lives in the options derivatives market. A lot of it there, and we underwrite that volatility most of all. So how big is the derivatives market? Well, the entire stock market is $127 trillion. That's that's a number that's not, we can't even comprehend a number that big. But the entire stock market is $127 trillion. The derivatives market, however, is $846 trillion. Unreal. That is 28 times larger than the United States' gross domestic product. It's absolutely insane. And the crazy part is 80% of the investment world is usually not available to people who are not already considered wealthy. And remember, $1 million in your home paid off is not considered wealthy to anybody but Dave Ramsey. Now, our insurance background comes into play with this a lot because on any given day, there are hundreds of millions of these contracts. So somebody might say, well, that's awesome. Josh, aren't you afraid? You just taught me how to do it. Can I go do it myself? Good luck, Chuck. And I'm serious, over hundreds and hundreds of millions of them every day, every single day. So our insurance background really came into play here. A normal financial advisor, who, no offense to them, we love them. I have one of them on staff, actually, looks for equities that might grow over time. That's their job. They are not trained to analyze risk. They are not trained in analyzing volatility for opportunity. They are not trained on getting in and out of contracts or rolling contracts to maximize profits. But an insurance advisor is. And this is what really clicked for me because we've been in the insurance industry, not just in it. I own an agency for a decade now. And I started thinking, well, wait a second. If we can underwrite industries, because I understand how that works, can we underwrite the derivatives market? And what makes us good at that? Well, insurance advisors are trained to look at equities that are good to underwrite. We're trained to analyze risk. We're trained to analyze volatility and opportunity. And we are trained in getting in and out of contracts or rolling contracts to maximize profits. That's just how it works. And that's why I love the insurance industry too, because it's based on math. It's not based on market. So we kind of took that insurance background and we funneled it through to the derivatives market because the economic environment doesn't matter. The ups and downs don't matter. Is the Dow up? Is the Dow down? Doesn't matter because in all four examples that I provided, what happens in every one of those four examples? Now, let's talk about our win rate. Las Vegas, and I'm not endorsing gambling, so that's not the point, but you understand the analogy. Las Vegas generates $38.5 billion a year from gambling, even in 2025, with all the news stories of, attendance was down. Still generated just in that city alone $38.5 billion a year. The average cost for a casino is $4.4 billion. And the house has a 55% win rate, meaning they have a 5% advantage over the player. Now, why do I bring that up? Because that 55% win rate is enough for them to say, let's spend $4 billion building a casino. And if somebody came up to you and said, hey, I'll let you invest in my casino and I'll pay you 13.22% a year, would you even say, well, that's too good to be true? No. Why? Because what did we learn about casinos? The house always wins. Matter of fact, your financial advisor would tell you. Okay, well, okay, yep. Mutual funds, 7% is good. But if you have the opportunity to invest in a casino at 13%, yes. Why? Because the house always wins. And they're winning on a 55% win rate. Our win rate is 76%. Yep, that's not our profit margin. That's how many times we win on the contract. Now, again, Vegas is 5, which means we have a 26% win rate over the investor. That's a 520% advantage over Vegas. And this is why we don't play markets, we underwrite them. While investors put their hope in gains, we produce income with math. And when it comes to money, math beats hope. And you don't have to take our word for it. There's an entire organization that says, yes, 76% win rate. Being the house on Wall Street, we don't play the ups and downs of the market. We are not investing in the stock for stock trading purposes. We underwrite the risk that option buyers and stock traders play. This is business execution, not gambling. And because of that, we win. What I like to tell people, I'll just pause here for a second. We know that insurance works. That's why all these stadiums are named after insurance companies. And we know it works based on math, right? How great would the insurance industry be? Even better if, let's say, they insured a car and you run into a mailbox and, yep, okay, we lost that one, air quotes. They send you $5,000 to repair the car. But then when they did that, they got your car to then go sell to somebody else. Holy cow! The insurance industry would be bigger than it even is today. And that's what happens with us. If we win, we keep the profits. If we lose, we keep the profits. But we also get their stock. So what happens when we lose? Well, that's all right too, because contracts have defined outcomes. The assets are then acquired or liquidated, and the loss scenario still generates cash. All right, so I loved reading Rainbow as a kid, LeVar Burton, don't take my word for it. We had a wonderful CPA licensed in the state of Texas review everything we were doing. Based on the track record of Josh's strategy as it pertains to underwriting market volatility, I can confirm that the strategy comfortably has produced sufficient returns to substantiate a fixed income payment of 13.22 from December 24, or not even December. I don't know why that came way before December, from 2024 to 2026. Furthermore, it is evident that even if the strategy were to suffer from the unlikelihood of an even 50% reduction in productivity, aka the Great Depression, there would still be sufficient cash flows to provide 13.22 return for the fixed income investors. Boom, baby. Wonderful investor friend of ours, to whom it may concern. My name is Peter Warren. This guy is a former Navy fighter pilot. That's awesome. Oil industry engineer specialist, subject matter expert, project manager, executive. He's a corporate pilot with 7 FAA type ratings. You get the point. He can fly it if it flies. He's also a Baptist deacon, an ordained non-denominational pastor, and a Messianic Jewish rabbi who's currently on the leadership team of a local congregation in Houston. That is awesome, but how does this pertain to you? As an accredited investor, I have investment experience with Scepter strategy regarding underwriting market volatility, working directly with Josh, and I can confirm not only has he made every fixed payment income, but he can comfortably pay the fixed income of 13.22. As a matter of fact, my investment has been so successful that I'm going to be investing 7 figures again in 2026, and he has, by the way, this time in Scepter's fund, and confidently expect the same type of healthy returns. Not just him, my daughter and son-in-law purchased a business with Scepter, formerly Kingsbridge. After seeing the impressive process and results, I wish I have had a similar income stream. However, I was not in a position to run or manage a business. After inquiry, I was presented with the opportunity to become an investor via a fixed income offering. Every month now, for over a year, cash payments have been made. What began in my head as too good to be true has an offer has become a reality. I would strongly advise my family that if offered another fixed income product in the future, that they can invest with confidence with Scepter. I've been treated like an investor and a partner, not as a means of income. I live by this rule that I do not make money off of you, I make money with you. That is true in everything Scepter offers, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Traditional financial advisors do not have offerings like this. That's because they can't. They have to offer a retail product to create their income. Anyway, small returns from large markets are not safe and are a risk to what you have worked for your whole life. Partnering with Tully and Company, which is us, who see things as they are and have a means to creatively change one's financial future, gets my thumbs up. I cannot say enough. Yada, yada. So, boom. How do we compare to other stuff? Well, we beat high yield savings accounts, money market accounts, certificates of deposits or CDs, U.S. Treasury bonds, investment grade corporate bonds, high yield junk bonds, the S&P 500 index funds, mutual ETFs, real estate REITs, and annuities. We beat them all. Who are we great for? We are great for active traders who want to level out the dips and gradual returns with the process. Retired investors who do not want to live on the dreaded drawdown. Retirement-minded investors who want to drastically increase their actualized returns, not just hope for increased value in when retirement comes. Because, and just real quick, when you're invested in the retail stock market as a stock investor, that's what you're hoping for. You know that, right? You're hoping that the value of what you bought went up. It's not producing enough dividend spread to create wealth. It's not. You can Google it. What is Berkshire Hathaway's percentage of income based on dividends? And it's a little over I think 2.3 or 2.5%. That's it. So, yeah. And then, of course, business operators who want less stress to level out the dips of their cash flow. So let's do a real example here. Let's say you're an active trader. You're like, dude, I love playing the markets. Fine, great, go for it. But let's say you take a third of your investable capital and you put it with us. Well, the other 2/3 you keep in the market. And let's say the market produces a zero return. It is terrible out there. Well, because you have a third of it with Scepter at 13.22, your overall portfolio is still growing at 4.44. Compare that to Jim Cramer. You know, it's insane what this can do for an active trader. But what about those retirement-based people? In a traditional model, let's say you have $500,000 in a traditional retail investment for retirement, they tell you to draw down 6% of that balance per year. Now, that is extremely risky and unstable, by the way. If your returns ever dip under 10% anytime in a 20-year period, and just so you know, there's never been a 20-year period in Wall Street when they haven't dipped below 10%. But let's just go with that. That means you're making $2,500 per month. And on the real 20-year average from 2006 to this year, that money runs out in 20 years. Well, I don't know if you've realized this, but the fastest growing age demographic in the United States is the 100 and over people. Largest age demographic by growth. We are living longer. And it seems to be that as technology advances, that's going to continue to be the case. So you're going to run out of money in 20 years. Even if you're like, well, Josh, I'm not going to live that long. Then you left behind nothing in 20 years. Either way, the money is gone. If you put the same $500,000 with Scepter Opal Fund and you draw down zero, nothing, do no drawdowns, you will make $5,508 per month. And when does the money run out? 2000 and never. Yep, to me, the difference is kind of clear. And if you happen to be a financial advisor thinking, oh my goodness, this dude just shot my dog. No, we love you too, because we become your hero. Could you imagine being that poor Edward Jones advisor in the last 6 months of this weird year and Iran war and all that sort of stuff and thinking, oh man, how am I going to explain a 1% return? Well, guess what? If you would have helped your clients put at least a portion of their income with us, we just leveled out your average and became your hero, which also then increases your referral fees, increases your income too, and the stress is lowered because we just shifted your average. But we're more than just one fund. We are a full house of finance and commerce. I am building this for a 1,000-year run here, which means we offer a lot more than just the fund, just in case you're interested. We do private placement insurance, trust and estate advisory and protector services, balance sheet bankroll. If you don't know, just real quickly, if you own a business and you are not aware that your balance sheet should be a source of income for you, it's time to wake up. There are so many small businesses that are in that 250 million and less. And yeah, that's considered small. I get it, but that's what's considered small. $250 million and less that do one thing terribly. They rely on their cash register for their entire income. No, your balance sheet has at least 11 sources of income on it, and it doesn't cost you really anything because it's already there. Anyway, and we have an M&A advisory and so on and so forth. Now, my favorite part, and I'm going to take a drink real quick to wet my whistle. Feel free to type your questions in the chat window, and I will get to them momentarily. Can you tell I'm having fun tonight? I'm having fun. All right, so I'll do the frequently asked ones, and then I'll get to the ones in the chat. Josh, I was told that this fixed rate is too good to be true. What should I do? Google the SBA, Google certified financial planners. This is how crazy this is. If you were to look on the SBA's website, and with the exception of starting a grocery store, which everybody knows operates on really tight margins, they just make up for it in volume. The SBA will tell you if you're running a small business and not making 15%, run. Do not be open. The board of certified financial planners advises you to make 10 to 15% at least on your job. Did you even calculate it? But the guy who's working for Edward Jones, the certified financial planner, who's telling you that a 7% return is good, his board is telling you that if you're not getting 10 from your job, you need a new job, or at least a raise. Everybody knows that if you're on the business side of things, no, you should be getting a good rate of return. The only thing we're doing is we're making money with you. We're making profit with that money in the 4 examples that I gave you, and then we're giving you part of it. Why? Because we don't make money off of you. We make money with you. All right. Will I have to pay tax on the monthly income, and can I keep it as unrealized gains? That's a great question that is now going to go to the end, so I'm going to circle back to that one. My advisor is concerned. This one really came up. This one shocked the bejeebies out of me. Excuse me. My advisor is concerned that the PPM, the private placement memorandum, didn't list the other fees and costs. Where are those? There aren't any. We have become so accustomed to being ripped off when it comes to investing that when they're not in there, We think that's the problem. We do not charge an annual management fee. We do not charge a carry fee. We do not charge a loading fee. The only fee you will ever find in our contract is a cancellation fee. And that's simply because it does cost money to process you out. But here's where it even gets better because I really am committed to the I'm not here to make money off of you, I'm here to make money with you thing. If you, because it's a 3-year fund, right? And if you're like, oh man, my house just burned down and my dog ran away with the car keys, I need to get my money out. Awesome. Then there's a 3% early withdrawal fee in your first year. But if you've been paying attention, if you've been in the fund at 13.22%, you made that fee back after 90 days. You've already made the fee. And because we're committed to this, treating you as a partner, not as a source of income, in the second year, we drop it to 2% because we're not trying to make money on fees. It's just there literally is a fee and work to process you out. What if I need my money early? Well, there you go. I actually just answered that one with the first one. You can totally get it. Why should I do this instead of buying a business? Now, I am known for helping people buy businesses. That's part of what we do. And I literally wrote the book on why you should buy a business. So I'm not opposed to buying a business. If you want to buy one and you're listening to this, call me. We can help you. But I will tell you this. For a lot of people, 13.22 with no stress is way better than 25 with stress. So it's up to you, but that's why. How do you guarantee these returns? We don't. There's only one financial contract in the world that has guaranteed in it, and it's a life insurance contract. You know why? Because you are going to die. So that's the only one that can have the word guaranteed in it. Now we can do the next best thing, which is contractually obligated to pay you back. So how do we generate those returns? Like I explained to you, we are a for-profit operating financial company in the derivative space, and we're just sharing the profits with you. You know what's nuts about this? Well, actually, I'll get to that in a second because it's tied into another question. If I'm married, do we both have to sign? Nope, that one's easy. Why offer 13.22 and face all the calls of it's too good to be true instead of just offering 5 to 8 and keeping the rest? Do you know who asked me this question? Do you know where this question came from? Our lawyer. Our lawyer was literally like, dude, just offer them 5 to 8. Then they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's normal, and keep the rest for yourself. Could we have done that? Yeah, we could have. Would it have been beneficial? No. No, I truly believe in making money with you, not off you, and I truly believe in blessing people. And the reason we landed on 13.22 instead of even 10 is because I happen to be a man of faith. And in the Bible, Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children, while the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. In order to provide income for your children's children, you can Google it once I'm done. Do you know how much money you're statistically supposed to have? If you don't have 35 million, don't even try. That's what they're going to tell you. 0.12% of estates that are left behind will make it to the children's children. 0.12%. Because it's impossible to outpace taxes and inflation if you're getting 5 to 7%. You cannot do it. It is mathematically impossible. You can go on AARP's website with their little retirement planner, and it's going to air out on you because it cannot happen unless you outpace 10. You have to get over 10. So we offer over 10. That's why. Now, the other question, will I have to pay tax on the monthly income or keep it as unrealized gains? First, I will say there is way too much focus nowadays on the idea of tax mitigation as opposed to wealth creation. With that being said, that's like saying, I don't want to win the lottery because you know the amount of taxes I'm going to have to pay. Now, I cannot talk to you your specific tax situation. Everybody's different, different states, different marriage statuses, different dependents. So it's completely an independent question. But what I can tell you is, drum roll, we have improved what was already amazing. We now let you control the payout. Yeah, buddy. So, option number one, you can choose a monthly payout option. Absolutely. If you have $100,000, you'll get a little over $1,000 a month, which means every year you're making $13,220. Oh, 13.22. And that for some people is perfect. If you put in a million, you're making over $10,000 a month. Holy cow. Try doing that with a $1 million quadplex and make money with multifamily dwellings. Not going to happen. The other option, if you don't need the money and you want to say, hey, just let that puppy roll, we now can let that puppy roll. So the difference is quite stark over 3 years. And Josh, why is it 3 years? Why can't we do this forever? Well, we plan to. We have to, in order to offer this to people who the system doesn't want it to be offered to, we have to jump through a lot of hoops. And one of them is it has to be a short duration fund. So what's going to happen is at the end of the 3 years, we're going to say, okay, everybody, it's time for this fund to end. But if you want to just roll it into the new fund, you can. So that's why it's only for 3 years. And the choice of control is up to you. You will have to decide though which one you want. You can't go back and forth. So if you're like, hey, you know what? I have $300,000 and I don't want to have to go to work anymore. I need the monthly income. Great. Make 3 grand a month from us and get monthly payouts. If you're like, hey, I'm doing this for empire building or, I have a retirement plan anyway, just let it roll. Great. Let it roll. Now, the difference is very, very stark. If you put in $1 million, initially you're making $11,000 a month. Yep, a month. By the end of the 3 year term, you're up to $16,000 a month. So there you go. Now, for your questions and comments, let's see what we got going on here. Now that we can participate in this exceptional opportunity, thank you for offering. Oh, this is a good one. I love it. Thank you for offering this investment. It is truly changing lives. We have a question. Once we have funded our projects and over the next year find that we have excess funds available, can we reinvest into the Scepter Income Fund? And if so, what is the minimum? $10,000. So you can. Yep, absolutely. You can just get in with another 10,000 bucks. You don't have to do the larger amount. Question. In the recently offered compounding interest option, how can us investors track our account balances with Opal other than by estimating the payments? We are going to provide that to you. We have hired a in-house CPA to do just that. So you'll be getting a statement like anything else. Comment. I think we need some form of online method of seeing the payments are right. Yep, that's exactly it. Opal Fund is a 3 year note. Let me back up. That jolted the thing. 3 year note ending in January, February 2029. It's actually February of 2029 because we get to go to the end of the month, but I get the point. What happens after that? Like I was just saying, we're going to start another one. We started with Opal and we're going to work our way up the gem ladder, Opals, Sapphire, that sort of thing. And you'll be able to roll one right into the other. Can we change our fixed payout to let it ride option after you start? For those people who've already started, we're allowing them the opportunity this month to pick their direction because they didn't have the choice when we started a few months ago. For new people coming in, we're having you choose when you come in, just because it's you, as you can imagine, a complicated sort of thing. You can't go back and forth. That'd be but good question. All right, awesome. I'll give you another second while I get another drink of lemonade if there's any more questions. Otherwise, it would have to be an investment withdrawal. Yeah, you could do that. You could just withdraw it and then reinvest, I guess. Are you guys going to Money Show in Vegas in July? Probably not. And that's all I'll say about that, but probably not. We might do the one next year, but yeah. Yep. And that withdrawal would be, yeah, because it would require new PPM. May I ask how many trades are you placing per month or per year? I would say in the thousands. I don't know the exact number. I know when we do an end of the year accounting, it's it's a book. Like it's might even be in the tens of thousands. It's a lot. It is a lot. We do even before we started opening this fund and accepting all of the investors. I don't know where we're going to end up at the end of this year, but at the end of last year, we were on a 52-week average about on any given day $5-6 million in trades every day or contracts. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Almost this year I would like to, this is just between us as friends, right? I would like to do over $1 billion in contracts. Are you both buying and selling options? Nope. Nope. That's no, I have no desire to get into the playing the options world. Just like everything, you know, the, the gurus are now starting to move into the options thing. They got into the business thing for a while, and that annoyed me. Buy a business, buy a boring business. We'll show you how. Now they're like, get the book. It's not an option. No. But I will tell you this. All these gurus telling people how to buy and sell options. Oh, yo, you can buy stock cheaper, and if you think Apple's going to go up, why pay $100 a share when you can pay? Oh my gosh, those are the people who go into the casino and they're like, I can show you how to win at blackjack. And who wins? Who wins? The house. So that's exactly the sort of thing where I was like, you know what? Let's just be the house and let all these gurus bring in people who think they're going to get they're going to get rich. We're watching these books or joining these mentorship courses on YouTube and all the other sort of things. Statistically, those people lose. Guess what? 72% of the time. That's how we get a win rate. It's so crazy when you actually think about it. Uh, they're like, well, Charles Payne said, and I'm nothing against Charles Payne. I've been on Charles's show. Well, Charles Payne wrote a book on how you can buy options and you can, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And the lose rate is 72%. That's how the house wins 72% of the time. We're the people on the other side of those people. It's crazy. But good question nonetheless. I love it. Love it, love it. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Many thanks. Josh, you demand. Oh, thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. And you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I love doing this. I love seeing the impact that it's already making. It's already making. We started the fund, I think it's February 3rd or whatever it happened to be. So it's only been a few months, and we're already having people, hey, I found 400,000 more dollars, or I told my neighbor, and hey, we just bought a car, and all this stuff. It's you can ask anybody who works here. That stuff gets me more excited than, you know, how's our company doing? No, I love seeing it make impact for other people. I absolutely love it. We've had people quit jobs. And of course, the lawyer's going to say, Josh, don't tell people. So asterisk, asterisk, everybody's individual cases are separate and you have to make your own life decisions, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying personally, I love it when I get to see that. So very good. All right. So because we knew we were going to do this tonight, our team is working tonight. If you're watching this and you're like, dude, I want a PPM, no problem. You can email Deborah Baker, dbaker@scepter.com. She's also available by phone tonight, 832-683-3886. And you're not bothering her. I can tell you, we planned this 2 weeks ago. We're excited to be here with everybody. So, yep, dbaker. Yep, actually, it was just posted in the chat room. dbaker@scepter.com, and she can get you rocking and rolling tonight. All right. Seeing no more questions must mean, oh, thank you. You are very welcome, Stephen. Must mean we did a good job. If you do have any other questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Hope everybody has a wonderful night tonight and be blessed.